Hello, my name is Julie Lee from Reeling to Share, and today I'll be going over Unit 4, Transoceanic Interactions of AP World. Today, we'll be focusing on the specific technological innovations and exploration. And in the next video, we'll focus on the second part of Unit 4, which includes information all about the Columbian Exchange. First up, I'll start with Subunit 4.1, which is all about technological innovations from the 1450s to 1750s. Most technological innovations during this time period were maritime innovations, which means that these innovations were all related to the sea. The reason why technology during this time was maritime was due to the fact that sea-based empires wanted to establish trade that was beneficial to them. Such empires were mostly the European empires, for example, the Spanish, Portuguese, British, etc. These empires had trouble establishing trade in their own favor and therefore wanted to find their own sea route, which meant that they had to find their own ways to Asia. Consequently, this led the empires to develop maritime innovations. Lots of different technologies were invented during this period. For example, the lateen sail, magnetic compass, astrolabe, astronomical charts, etc. During this period, new technologies were also developed. The Portuguese had developed the carvel, which was a smaller and faster boat, which therefore made it navigable along coastlines. Furthermore, although it was small, it could still carry a lot of goods. The Dutch had also developed a boat and called it a flute. A flute was a boat exclusive to trading and therefore meant that they had larger cargo bays. Furthermore, the boat could sail with a smaller crew and was cheaper to build than regular merchant ships. Now I'll move on to subunit 4.2, which are all about the causes and effects of exploration from the 1450s to the 1750s. During this period, there are three main reasons for maritime exploration: gold, God, and glory, also known as the 3Gs. For obvious reasons, gold was one of the most important factors. However, to go into detail, the main reason empires needed gold was due to mercantilism. Mercantilism is essentially the idea where empires are in constant competition with each other for everything, including colonies and resources. Therefore, this drives the idea that colonies should benefit the mother countries by one, extracting as many resources as possible, and number two, not trading with the other colonies, which forces the colony to be economically dependent on the mother country. God was another reason for exploration, as since Europeans were Christians, they felt that it was their need to convert people into Christianity. Finally, glory was another main reason, as empires wanted to feel the glory and power of controlling a large empire, and also colonies, which if they have, other countries do not. Now I'll be talking about the main countries during maritime expansion from the 1450s to 1750s. The first country I'll be talking about is Portugal, which played a major role in maritime expansion. Apart from the 3Gs, Portugal had decided on maritime expansion due to their geographical location. This is because Portugal was surrounded by the ocean and was only next to Spain. Hence, their only option to gain more power through expansion of colonies was by going overseas. During this period, there were two main explorers that contributed to Portugal's maritime success: Bartholomew Diaz and Vasco da Gama. Diaz was crucial, as in 1488, he had sailed across the southern tip of Africa and returned home, which was significant in showing that there was an effective way into sailing towards Asia. Furthermore, Vasco da Gama was just as significant, as 10 years later he sailed around the southern tip and continued to India, which he eventually claimed as part of Portugal's empire. 1514 marks an important date in Portugal's maritime history, as the event that happened this year inspired Portugal to change its empire-building tactics. In 1514, Portuguese traders had arrived in China, which had eventually caused the missionaries to also come to China. Franciscans and Jesuits tried their best to convert the mass of Chinese people and elites. However, they were rejected as barbarians. Although the Portuguese were unable to convert China, this had eventually inspired them to change their tactics on empire building from the traditional way of getting as much land as possible to establishing a trading post empire. This would mean that small amounts of land would be claimed at strategic locations around the coast and throughout the Indian Ocean. By using this tactic, the Portuguese had the goal of creating a monopoly over the spice trade and charging all ships that passed through their ports. Eventually, through this tactic, the Portuguese were able to colonize Brazil, which played a major role in their economic development. The next country I'll be talking about is Spain. Just like any other European empire at the time, the motive for Spain's exploration were the three Gs. Hence, through the three Gs, the Spanish were able to successfully explore overseas. Such examples of success will be illustrated through explorers Ferdinand Magellan and Christopher Columbus. Magellan was the first explorer to navigate the world by going west and then south around the tip of America. This was significant as through this he was able to arrive at the Philippines, where the Spanish were able to set up significant trading posts that attracted many merchants, hence large amounts of money. On the other hand, Columbus had ended up at the Aztec and Incan empires. Although one may believe that this was not successful, since Columbus was initially sponsored to seek a new route to Asia, especially India, and look for gold and silver, he's considered successful as the Aztec and Incan empires he found contained vast amounts of gold and silver. Furthermore, as the Spanish later decided to enslave the natives and Africans later on, they forced them into agriculture, which hence allowed the Spain to become an even wealthier empire. The final country I'll be talking about today is France, who had a bit of a different approach during the maritime expansion. Similar to the other countries, other European empires as the Portuguese, such as the Portuguese and Spanish, the French Empire had wanted to find their own passage to Asia to prevent sailing around South America. However, unlike the Portuguese, who were successful, the French weren't, which led them to claim land in a country which we call Canada today. However, the French benefited from this, as once they discovered Canada's rich resources, they gave up finding a way to Asia and established Quebec. Furthermore, they were able to use their new territory as trading posts with the natives, which established good relationships with the Native Americans. And that's the end of today's video. I hope it was easy to understand and I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and comment. Also, if you would like to watch more videos from We Learn to Share, please subscribe and turn on the notifications. Thank you.